Well, good evening, everybody. This is Trisha, back at your service. And I just dyed my hair purple. I don't know if you can notice it or not, but it's a lot darker than it was. And I like it so far. So I'm making this video diary because I did something kind of, well, pretty messed up a while back. And it's been on my mind here these past few days. And so I want to get it off. It was a late January evening, and I was online like always, trying to talking to guys. I was actually looking for a boyfriend at the time, or, or a date, whatever came first. And so I had just made a profile on this dating app, and this girl hit me up all of a sudden, and we talked for a second, and she informed me that she was looking for a female to join her and her boyfriend in a three-way. Now, this girl had only seen my pictures, and apparently she did not know that I was trans. So, excuse me. So, I told her that I was, flattered, but that I wasn't interested, and, on top of everything else, I was trans, so, she was kind of barking up the wrong tree. I was real nice about it and everything. And the response I got was horrible. She responded with such hatred. Um, she told me that I was not a real woman, and that I'm never going to be a real woman, and that I don't belong on a heterosexual dating site. Okay, well, it's a free country, right? So long story short, this girl just really wound up hurting my feelings. And so I got off the app, and I went and laid down, and I was upset. I started crying a little bit. And had just planned on going to bed and letting bygones be bygones. But something snapped in me, I think. And I decided that I was not going to let her get away with that. So, and I knew that she lived close by from when we had been talking earlier. She lived in an apartment complex that's not about 3/4 of a mile away from where I live, or where I lived at the time. So, I I deleted that profile on the dating app. I made a whole new one. I took new pictures of myself, but I made them where they look just a little bit different, if that makes any sense. I tried to purposely make sure they looked different than the couple of pictures that she had seen. And I didn't think she was going to fall for this. I honestly did not. And so I made the new profile, and I looked her up, and we started talking. And you can probably predict what's going to happen. She brought up the three-way, and I agreed to it, and I did not tell her that I was transgender. Oops. And so I got the address and told them I'd be there in a couple of hours, and I got off the app again and started getting ready. And okay, well, there's one small problem. I don't have a vagina. So what I did was I went in the bathroom, and I taped my, you know what, between my legs with a bunch of gauze and medical tape. I just taped it flat, and put on my panties and everything. Put on a little cute outfit that I used to wear all the time. It was like a pink hoodie that I still have too. Anyways, it was a pink hoodie with a kind of like some charcoal grayish jogging or / yoga pants. Just a real cute little outfit. Excuse me. And like it was late January, so it was really cold outside. And so I wore a scarf to cover up my Adam's apple, right? And so I walked over there, and the whole way there I was rehearsing, because I had to use my other voice. I have another voice that I can use. It's kind of tricky sometimes because I really have to focus when you know what I mean? So I, practiced my other voice on the way there and all that. And, I wanted to make sure that I was extra feminine and didn't want to give myself away. And so I went over there, knocked at the door. The girl's boyfriend answered, a big dude. And, oh, he was cute too. Oh, he was gorgeous. And so went in, introduced myself, and we got this show on the road. Now, I can't go into too much detail because this is YouTube, but I guess I can put it, I guess the best way I can put it is to say that I messed with this girl all night. Well, I was over there for a few hours, and not all night, but about 3 or 4 hours. And I messed with her so bad, I made her so angry, and I, I hope this does not get me in trouble for saying this, but so I wound up giving her boyfriend oral sex right in front of her and wouldn't let her join at one point. I locked her out of her own bedroom. Um, I just did everything I could to just really, really make it unpleasant for her, and I made her really, really, really mad. At one point, I thought she was gonna hit me, and at the same time, I was all being cuddling up to the boyfriend and being sweet and like, if she comes in here, you're gonna protect me, right? Stuff like that. And of course, he didn't. Keep in mind, he never did anything to piss me. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't. I didn't have anything against him, but I just didn't, know either one of them. But so, anyways, this just went on, and at one point, he did try to take my scarf off, and think the only thing I could think of was to pretend like my phone was vibrating in my pocket, and I kind of jerked away from him, and then played it off like I was getting a phone call or something, and or like I was putting my phone on silence and all that. And so I got out of that one, and I couldn't. There were several times throughout the night that they tried to that one or the other tried to touch me down there. Take of course it was a three-way. They wanted to me to be naked, but I couldn't take off all my clothes. So and it was nerve wracking. It was very nerve wracking. I was so nervous. I was like, oh god, let's just. I was sitting there thinking. At one point, I was like, all right, I've already pissed her off. I got my revenge. Like, let's hurry up and get this over with. Let's get this guy to finish. If you know what I mean. So I can, do my big finish and get out of here. And excuse me. So that's what I did. And while she was locked out of her bedroom, and she was in the living room, or she was in there pounding at the bedroom door, looking. You could hear her in the kitchen, living room, whatever area. She was digging through the drawers looking for the key, and she was so mad, screaming, yelling, and all that. And he kept wanting to unlock the door, and I was like, oh well, this, just just saying all kinds of BS. And so I wound up, me me and him. I finished him off. Well, actually, before that, I skipped over a part. At one point, because he wanted me to ride him, right? He wanted me to get on top and ride him cowgirl. At one point, she was in the bed too, but I had told her to go, like, kind of move over to the side and sit there and play with herself, because I told her I wasn't comfortable being with another woman yet. And so she's over there, kind of, she's like confused, and then he's wanting me to get on top of him and ride him cowgirl, and then so I was like, the only thing I could think of is I asked him real, like, kind of, real meek. I was like, can you do her first, or something like that. And she loved the idea. She pushed me. She climbed right over me. She pushed me out of the way, climbed over me, and got on top of him and straddled him. And so, they started doing their thing, and I pretended like I was, playing with the vagina that I didn't have. I put my hand down my pants and pretended like I was, Anyways, so after a few minutes, I decided to crawl over there on my knees in the middle of the bed where they were, and I pushed her off of him. I pushed her off all of a sudden, and I said, "Watch and learn, sister." And I got down there and started doing my thing, my orally, and I was finally able to get him to explode, and she was not happy at all. And oh, so I was like, and they started kind of arguing amongst themselves. It's kind of started a fight with them, and because she had an attitude and she was not happy. She's like, well, like, screw this. Let's just go to bed. And she just wanted to go to bed on. So after he finished, I was like, well, I told her, I was like, well, it's okay because we're done anyways. Talking about me and him. I said, and I got work tomorrow, so I kind of got to go. I don't want to cause any problems, shit like that. So, and she just looked at me like, what is going on here? I could tell she was so angry. She wanted to hit me so bad. And, so, he went to get the boyfriend went to get in the shower, and I went to leave. And, I walked to the living room, and of course, I knew she was going to, go to shut the door behind me and all that. But so she walked behind me to the living room and all that. And when I got to the door, I, turn around. I opened the door and turned around and kind of stepped out. And, she's standing there like, with her arms crossed and all that, talking shit, saying, that was worth it, like blah, blah, blah. And so I turned around and I said, well, you have a good night. And then I said, oh, by the way, I got something I need to show you. She's like, what? And she says, what? I pulled the scarf down and showed her my Adam's apple. I pointed at my Adam's apple. And I said, who's a real woman now, honey? And my goodness, her jaw hit the floor so hard it almost went through it. I'm not kidding. She was stunned, and she was like, and you could tell, like, it just started to dawn on her, like, why I was acting the way I was acting and why it was all weird. And she was so freaking angry. Like, I can't, and I thought it was so funny. I know it's mean, but it was just so funny to me. And so I left. I walked down the steps, and she even came out on the balcony and was screaming a little bit, and yelling at me and talking shit. And I turned around and waved at her and said, "Bye, honey. It was nice meeting you." And I walked my sociopathic ass home. There's your video diary for the next few days. I love you guys. Thank you to all my new subscribers. Guys, it's late. I'm going to go to bed. I absolutely love you guys, like, from the bottom of my heart. Y'all have a safe and happy and wonderful Halloween. Good night, y'all. I love y'all. Bye.